Hey, what's up guys, MLT Tricks here, and in today's video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this card trick that is quite easy to perform, but it really will confuse your spectator. And if you are new here to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more card and magic trick videos like this. And also, I'm going to be talking about right now an Amazon gift card giveaway. So if we get the Twitter account for the channel, the username is MLT_tricks, to 100 followers by the end of next week, I will be announcing an Amazon gift card giveaway that will be taking place on the channel. So if you have a Twitter account, make sure to give that a follow. The link will be in the description. And anyways, guys, let's get right into this performance. Okay, so I'm gonna start off this trick by giving the cards some cuts, just like this, mixing up the pack. And now at this point, I'm gonna need my spectator to make a selection so they can choose a card from the deck. They can touch the back of any one of the cards they want to. So let's say my spectator chooses this card right here. This is a completely free selection, and in this case, their selection is the 6 of hearts. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place their selection in the deck right where they had taken it out of, and we're going to place it right there, and I'm going to square up the cards just like this. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get your card, the 6 of hearts, to now be the only face-up card in the deck. I'm going to snap my fingers over the pack, and I'm going to spread out the cards, and we're going to see how I did. So I'm going to spread through the cards just like this, and as you can see here, there is one face-up card, but it isn't your selection. This is the 8 of diamonds, obviously is not the 6 of hearts, but this 8 here is telling me, it's basically an indicator card, and it's telling me that your selection, the 6 of hearts, is 8 cards from the top of this packet. And keep in mind here, guys, my spectator could have chosen any card they wanted to from the deck, and now I'm going to count 8 cards from the top of this packet. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and right here in the 8th position should be my spectator selection, the 6 of hearts. So that is what this card trick looks like. I hope you guys liked it, and if you want to learn how to perform this one, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that card trick, and credit to the Russian genius for this effect. And like I mentioned earlier, this trick is quite simple to perform, yet it has a very powerful effect on your spectator. And this trick relies on a very small setup, and this setup is so small that you can essentially make this an impromptu trick by having your spectator first shuffle up the pack, then when you get the deck back, you can create the setup from there without them even noticing. And I will be explaining how to do that later in this tutorial, but for now, what I'm going to do is explain the setup that you guys are going to do prior to the trick if you do not want to create the setup on the fly. And once again, I will be explaining how to create the setup on the fly later in this tutorial. But here's the setup. What you're going to do is you're going to take out any card you want to from the pack. I would suggest that this card has a value between 5 and 10, because the card that you're taking out here is going to be the card that is face up when you spread out the deck just like this. And then in this case, an 8, when you guys have the setup, your spectator's selection will be the 8th card from the top of this packet. But let's say you decided to do like an ace or a 2 or something like that. It would only be, if you did an ace, the next card would be their selection. A 2 would be the second card, and I personally think it makes for a better effect if it's a high valued card and that you're counting more cards, because it just makes it seem more impossible. And if you guys decide to do a face card, that also might create some problems, because you will need to explain your spectator the values of the face cards. For example, like a jack, I believe that's 11. You need to explain that to your spectator if they do not know that already, and that could get a little bit confusing. So I would, just to be safe here, I would choose a card that has a value between 5 and 10, and 8 works just fine. And what you're going to do here is you are going to count off 7 cards from the top of the deck. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place this 8 on top of it just like this in the 8th position. And keep in mind here, guys, if you had a 7, you would count off 6 cards and then place that valued 7 card in the 7th position. And same thing if you had a 9, 9 goes in the 9th position, and you're simply going to place all these cards at the bottom of the deck. So what you have here is you have your setup card, in this case the 8 of clubs. It's going to be the only face-up card, and it's going to be in the 8th position from the bottom. Remember, like I just said, if this was a 7, this would be in the 7th position from the bottom. If it was a 9, it would be in the 9th position from the bottom. And from here, this is the setup. It's really simple, and at this point, you're ready to go up to your spectator and perform the trick. So you can start off by doing any false cuts you guys want to. Make it appear to your spectator that you are mixing up the packet, but in reality, you are keeping this set up at the bottom of the deck. You guys don't have to do any false cuts if you don't want to. I would refrain from doing a riffle shuffle, because you do run the risk of accidentally flashing that 8 at the bottom there. And at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to have your spectator choose a card, and they can choose any card they want to from the packet, but they cannot choose any one of the bottom 8 cards. And you also do not want to accidentally flash that 8, so best way to prevent that is you just spread out the top portion of the packet just like this. Have your spectator choose a card. Your spectator really most times hopefully won't go against you and go all the way to the bottom of the packet, or else the trick won't work. So your spectator, let's say they choose a card right here, they can touch the back of any one they want to. It has to be at the top portion of the deck. Now at this point you can decide to have your spectator just look at the card, or you can turn it over face up for the both of you to see, and it really does not matter. The trick works either way. Now from here, this is really important. What you're going to do is you are going to have your spectator essentially place their card at the top of the deck. But obviously if they just you're holding the cards like this and they place it at the top, it would be suspicious to place this bottom packet on top of the deck just like that, and that's what you need to happen. So the best way to make it seem less suspicious is you're going to have the top portion of the cards just like so, and you're going to square them up just like this with your left or right hand, depending on how you're holding the cards. So you have the top packet of cards here, and then you have this bottom portion. And to make this look like the top of the packet, top of the deck, you're just going to kind of spread out the bottom couple cards just like this, and be really careful not to accidentally flash that face up card. So you're going to spread out the cards like this, and you're going to casually just kind of raise the cards just like so, and you're going to kind of trick your spectator into thinking that this is the top of the deck, and they really will not notice that you're doing this. It's going to be really casual. And just to make it more believable, if you're going to take the top portion of cards, you can kind of just spread some of the bottom ones out like that, just kind of like so. And then from here, you're going to tell your spectator to go ahead and place their card right back in where they took it out, and this looks really believable that this is now the top of the deck, but in reality this is the bottom of the pack and this is the top. So they're going to place it in. Once again, you place all the cards from the bottom of the deck right on top of it just like that. And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to explain to your spectator that you're going to try and get their selection to be the only face-up card. You can snap your fingers over the deck, do whatever you want to. Spread out the cards, and obviously when you guys are spreading out the deck here, the card that is face-up is not going to be their selection. It is going to be the card that you had set up prior to the trick. From here, you're going to take all the cards from the top of the face-up card, you're going to go ahead and place those down, and you're going to tell your spectator that you did not mess up, but this card right here is an indicator card. And this card right here, since it's an 8, it's telling you that their selection is 8 cards from the top of this packet. From here, you can just go ahead and count off 8 cards. You're going to go, make sure you do it really slowly, and make sure your spectator knows that you are not doing any sort of sleight of hand moves here. You're going to go off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th card will be their selection. And keep in mind, this trick works with any valued card. You could have chosen an ace or a king. It would have worked just fine, but like I mentioned earlier, I would suggest you choose a valued card between 5 and 10. So that is how you guys are going to be able to do the trick with a setup deck before you go up to your spectator. But what I'm going to do now is explain for how you can do this trick by having your spectator first shuffle up the pack, and then you create the setup from there. And if you guys are a little bit more advanced out there, I would suggest you guys do this, but if you are a beginner, go ahead and watch this too, because it's a good way to just get some good practice with your card handling skills. So what you're going to do here is you can go start off by having your spectator shuffle up the pack. They do it as much as they want to until they are satisfied, and from here, what you're going to do is you're just going to spread out the cards face up, just like so. And you're just going, what you're doing here is showing your spectator that all the cards in the deck are different. And what you're doing here is you're going to look for a card that you want to be as your setup card. So, and when you guys are doing this way, I would actually suggest that you choose a lower valued card, maybe like 3 to 6, and I will be explaining why in a second. So once you kind of spreading out the cards, go towards the top here, and we're going to look for a low valued card, let's say perfect, a 5. What you're going to do is you're going to take all the cards to the right of it, just like this, and you're going to place them casually to the bottom just like that. Your spectator really will not pick up on what you're doing there, and what you've done there is you've just gotten this 5 now to the top of the deck, and now you need to make this 5 face up at the bottom of the pack. Easiest way to do that, this is going to be sort of a challenging move. It's really not too challenging to do once you get it down. You're going to kind of be doing this move just like this. You're going to be bringing the card behind, below the deck, and it's going to be face up now. And best way to conceal this move, you're going to, with your left hand here or your right hand, depending on how you're gripping the deck, you're going to be using your 3 fingers, just like so, or 4 fingers actually, applying pressure. Actually, I'll do your 3 fingers just like this, index coiled at the back. 3 fingers, applying pressure. You're covering it with your left hand. You're just going to be going like that. It's going to be really casual. And make sure you guys practice this move, obviously, before you go up to your spectator, because your spectator may actually, if you do it lackadaisically, really slowly like that, your spectator may see what you're doing there. So that requires a little bit of practice to start. You're going to do the move, the 5. Make sure you don't flash it like I just did there. Be really careful that you're concealing the move with your other hand, just like that. And now once you've done that, you have the 5 face up at the bottom of the packet. You need to get this 5 now in the 5th position from the bottom. Easiest way to do that is just spread out the cards like this, just casually to your spectator, get a pinky break above 4 cards, just like so, transfer that to a thumb break, and double undercut these 4 cards to the bottom of the pack, just like that. Now what you've done here is you have your setup, just like so. You have the 5 in the 5th position face up from the bottom of the deck. And keep in mind here, if this was a 7, you would need to double undercut 6 cards then to the bottom of the packet. So you have that 7 in the 7th position from the bottom. And from here, you guys know what to do. You just finish the trick from there. So that is for you advanced people out there, if you are a little bit more advanced, because that obviously does require a little bit more practice, especially this move here where you're bringing that card face up to the bottom of the pack. So that is going to conclude this video. I hope this trick made sense for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and definitely try both methods. And once again, if you are a beginner out there, try the method where you do the setup on the fly. It's really good practice. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.